Hey pilots, DrainMan here, and today I have a very special video. Today we are going to talk about this frame right here. And as you can see, it's a really cool looking frame. But I know you want to know what makes this frame different, right? Because all the frames we see, they start to just be kind of revision after revision. They all pretty much look the same, except we move this bolt here and we make the arm skinnier here but fatter here when we add one of these and we do one of those. And then ultimately it's the same frame, or we add an R on top and now it's a different frame, right? Well, not this time, guys. This time, this frame actually changes the wave of things. This is the strongest, most indestructible frame on the market. And if you do happen to break it, it does have a lifetime warranty. And you guys are in for a real treat. In today's video, we are going to go over the frame. We're going to kind of check it out, do a quick little review, overlook, and check out of this frame right here. And then we are going to go ahead and build it and fly it. Okay, pause. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I do want to show you the clip on this frame. Please watch.
Again. It's still solid.
And this is a gravity loss frame. That is who it's made by, and the model name of this frame is called a RodinFPV Freestyle frame. And it is a freestyle frame, and it does have these really strong aluminum standoffs, as you can see, and we're going to go over those. But real quick, this frame is just the beta version, and the new version is already in production. By the time I drop this video, they will probably already be available. Plate thickness of this frame is 2.5 mm. These are made of high modulus carbon fabric. They are layers, and it's German resin, and it's used, certified for the real aircraft industry. And the arm thickness is not your traditional 5, it's actually 6. They are made of the modulus carbon as well, and the arms actually have an elasticity in them. And the resin for the arms is from the same sheet that is made with the rest of the frame. And this technology is without comparison to Chinese counterparts, and they actually have a glossy surface. You can see it, it's really cool. So it is still a carbon fiber frame, but it's just different the way that they manufacture it and the way that they do it. You're running with 7075 aluminum, and it's also certified for the aircraft industry. And I want to open this up and show you guys, and you can see inside how that is. And I mean, these are no joke. And your first question is, man, those are big, those are bulky, is it heavy? No, it's not over 140 grams for this frame. So it's really not bad. Then you've got these here to protect. Now this has changed. So in the new version, or in the latest version that is actually going into production, this is connected to this. So your standoff for your stack is connected to this piece here, and it's all one piece. The next thing I want to do is I want to show you guys this. If you can, I'm not sure if it's going to focus on it. I'm going to show you right here. And you can see, like, this is your traditional carbon. And you, look, there you go. That allows you to see the difference between the two. You can actually see there's almost like a seam where this has been molded together. And for this guy to actually jump on this frame, literally he stands on this frame and then is jumping on it. Instead of just snapping and breaking, it's actually going to bend a little bit. I mean, that's a fantastic idea. So we've covered the frame, we've done a little bit of specs on it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to build it. After we build it, we are going to go ahead and take it for a flight. I am going to build this using this amazing HobbyWing Stack. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. This ESC has carried the name of Best ESC of the Year, and this is actually the version after. I do have a full review, pinout, how to wire, everything on this stack already. So if you're curious in seeing that, I've got a video. I'll drop it down in the video description. Go ahead and check that out because this is definitely a stack to get familiar with. So that right there is just gonna be perfect. These ESCs are 60 amp ESCs and it all can take 6S no problem. For my motors, I've decided to roll with these boosters. And if you're curious about this, I'm gonna tell you something right now. These are actually 4S motors. What does that mean? That means that they're 2500 kV, but I'm going to run them with 6S batteries. And for the pilots who don't follow my channel, I'm going to tell you how. And the reason how I'm going to do that is there is a way, and no, it is not a throttle cap. And if you're running a 4S motor with a 6S battery and you've got a throttle cap, then you're doing it wrong. And it's still dangerous. If something happens and the wrong output goes out, you're going to smoke everything. So don't be doing that. Do it the right way. I have a full video on how to set it up and how to run it the right way. Alright pilots, let's go ahead and mount one of the motors. I'm going to show you how to mount one and then you'll get the idea and you can do the rest yourself. I am going to use skids. I don't do any top mount battery frames without skids because when you come into land, you are landing on the bottom of the arms. And if you have nothing under there but motor screws, you're going to tear them up and then you're not going to be able to get them back out. Alright, let's go ahead and pop this on. And once I have it, I'll line it up like that. And then I'll tighten that down. And once it's snug, I can make sure everything's lined up and looking good. Now, I love the red and blue. Those are my colors, man. Red and blue. Alright, so that's 2 screws in. As you can see, that's a really long screw. Now I'm going to go ahead and start the next one. And I don't know if you noticed, but I went ahead and I put it in caddy corner. And I did that for a reason. So now I jump to this corner. And with those height screws, as you can see, it's kind of hard to see in there. But you can see that it's perfect. There's nothing protruding. If your screw is popping up too far out of the bottom of the stator and it's coming up and it's touching your copper windings, your motor windings, you're going to have problems. So don't allow that to happen. Alright, now let's go ahead and put in the last screw. There we go. We got it on, looking good. I'm going to go ahead and do the other 3 and we'll meet back here in a minute. Alright pilots, there you go. All 4 motors are on. We've got our quad skids on, so we are ready for landing. We're going to protect our motors when we come in. And now we're ready for the next step. Is I'm going to pop this off, nice and easy. And while I've got it out, open, nothing's connected, I'm going to solder up my XT60. I'm going to plug in my connector. And then we'll pop it in and hit the ESCs. So let's go ahead and get our trusty old Lakers colored vise that we 3D printed, huh? Boom. And now we'll go ahead and get our iron and some solder. And we'll go ahead and tin these up. Alright, so that's locked down nice and tight. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and solder this up. So I use a pair of ceramic tip tweezers. Then go ahead and tin your pads. And for me with XT60, I get very generous because I don't want my XT60 having a weak connection. So I'm not sure if you were able to see that, but I put a big healthy blob on there. And now I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other side. I'll do that with the camera zoom so you can see what's going on. So go like that, warm it up, and then go in. And that's it. And there you go. Now we'll go ahead and do the other side. And there you go. XT60. I mean, this thing is, it's not even cooled down yet, and it's stronger than a horse. Assuming that horses are strong. We've got our capacitor here ready to go. We're in great shape. Alright, so here's our connector. This is going to get us from ESC to flight controller, and we have this super nice G3 HobbyWing flight controller. So we're going to go ahead and plug that in here, right? Because that's where that goes. You can't mess that up. Okay. So as you can tell by the green and red lights, everything is looking good. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn this just like that, and we're going to go ahead and start right here, and we're going to get all these soldered up, ready to go. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this one, and then we'll meet back here. Alright, so in order to make sure my motor wires do good, I'm going to go ahead and zip tie them before I solder them. Alright, so I want those to be nice and straight. Now we can go ahead and measure. 1, 2, and 3. We need to strip them. Alright, so as you can see, I've stripped all 3 wires. Now I'm going to go ahead and tin them. So I've stripped them, I've tinned them, now I'm going to go ahead and solder them. I'm going to get you in here for the solder so you can see it happen. And that's why you should always make sure that you don't cut them too short, because if you do, you'll find yourself in trouble. Alright, that's one motor down. I mean, this motor is literally ready for the sky. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do these other 3, and I'll meet you back here. Alright, pilots, we are back, and all 4 motors are on the quad, soldered to the ESC, zip tied down, and ready to go. Okay, so my rush tank did come with this connector, and I do have an out option, and what that is it's a 5 volts out and a ground out. And that would be if you didn't have enough room on your flight controller, you could power your camera right from here. I don't need that, so I'm going to go ahead and depin that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the ground off first. And all you're doing is lifting the little plastic tab so that this will slide out. And then I actually saved those because you never know when you need to move something else around or repin something, or oh no, I depinned the wrong one, or whatever the case may be. So now I'm going to go to the next one. I just go in there with a blade, and then I lift it up and slide it out. Boom, there it is. So now the power and the ground going to the camera is now out of my VTX. So now I can plug this in without that problem. Alright pilots, so here is honestly something. It's actually not a problem because I figured it out, but if I would not have figured this out, it would have upset me about this flight controller. Is they give you this connector right here, and this is where you connect your power for your VTX, you connect your video in, your video out, you've got a couple other things all right here on this connector. So when you take something like this, which is just a connector that's going to come out of my VTX, and now I've got to find a way to splice this video wire into this. I mean, it's upsetting. I don't want to deal with that. So, okay, so I've done a little bit of troubleshooting. So let me go ahead and tell you about it. So if you're in the same predicament, you can do the same thing. I went ahead and plugged in a battery. And then what I did is I used my multimeter and I tested, and I did not use a smoke stopper. Well, I did to test, and then I plugged it in full, and then I used my multimeter and test the pads, and by doing that I'm able to find which pad is actually which, and I was able to confirm my ratio, which is what I got going here, which it's video in, video out, and then 12 volt ground, and then there's UART 6 right there. So we're good to go. And then we have our UART here. We're going to go ahead and use that for our smart audio. The Rush Tank does have the smart audio feature, so why not use it? Alright, so I'm going to actually save this antenna here. It's a good antenna. And I'm going to use this old Immortal T I have. The ends are a little bit scruffy, and that's okay. There's a way to fix that, and it was actually approved by TBS, and I have a video on how to fix that. It's very easy, very simple, but I'm going to put that video down in the video description, so when you tear up your Immortal T, you can go ahead and fix it too. Alright, let's go ahead and mount it. My Immortal T right there. What do you think? Do you guys like it? I think I like it. Let's go ahead and try it. Ooh. That's almost like it was meant for that. Because now you can put one on this side too. Let's see how it came out. Oh wow, that's actually perfect. Mine's a little chewed up, but if yours ain't chewed up, it's going to be perfect. So I am going to repair this, and once that's repaired, it won't look like that anymore. Alright, for the crossfire, we need to have power, ground, receive, transmit. We need a full UART plus power and ground, and it does take 5 volts. So I have a ground right here. I have 5 volts right here. And then I have a full UART right here. Got a bag of these right here. They are the perfect size heat shrink for the Crossfire Nano receiver. Throw it over just to get a rough measurement. It's definitely too long, so I'll trim it and then connect the receiver. Okay, so we've got that connected. Let's just give it a peek, see what it'll look like. We'll stuff it up under there, And I think it'll be perfect. We have a little loop hanging, but we can fix that. So let's go ahead and heat shrink this. Now let's go ahead and strap that down. We're going to need a zip tie. And I'm not sure if you can see it right there laying down, but it is there and it is good. So I'm going to trim the zip tie. And our crossfire is now done. We still have to tidy up this antenna, but that's easy. Alright, so here's our Fox ear camera. And the first thing we want to do is we want to get our plates, and we want to get our top plate. And more than likely we're going to have to take this bracket off to make it work. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that now. I'm going to save this because you never know when you're going to need it. I'll probably change the pitch later, but I need something for now just to get me rolling. So I'm going to run what looks like 25-30 because that's what I like. Okay, so our camera's in its cage. We're going to now connect this. Hopefully we did it right. Alright, we'll deal with the top in a minute. How about that? We'll focus on the bottom first. So for the bottom, I mean, we're set. Remember I showed you how to depin already. We're going to do that again. See that purple wire? We don't want it. And you may ask, why are you depinning it, DrainMan? Why don't you just cut it? Well, the reason why is because if I cut it, then I'm leaving wire behind, and that wire that I left behind is just going to be there dangling. And God forbid, while I'm flying around and crashing and doing all other sorts of stuff, I actually have that wire hit something. What am I going to do then? I'm going to wish I would have depinned it. And the camera can handle, most cameras actually can handle quite a bit of voltage. So what I do is I go ahead and give it the cleanest voltage I can. And that in this situation is definitely going to be the 12 volt regulator. $12 and ground. Alright pilots, that does it for our camera, flight controller. The VTX just needs to be plugged in. Our crossfire's good, our power's there. Our motors are there. I mean, we are there. This thing is just about done. The only thing I'm not too happy about is running that video wire there. But I'd rather run it here than pass it through and have the video running right over the top of the ESCs with all that amperage just ba 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 ba. So we're going to roll with that because it ain't going to get much better. Okay, I'm going to slide my cap a little bit out of the way. I found this pigtail connector. We're going to stick it out the back. And we do need to find an antenna. And I might use something different. But for now, I've got to throw something on there. Let's see what I got. Okay, so it does not match at all. But I found a big bright green lollipop. It's a brand new, right out of the box, Lollipop 3 RHCP. So I'm probably not going to keep that due to the color, but for now, I'm going to place one on each corner, caddy corner, just to hold it down for now. I think we are there. Before we put the top plate on, let's go ahead and smoke test it. You ready, pilots? Let's do it. And she is glowing. Alright, so I'm going to pull the smoke stopper and I'm going to go full voltage. And we are live. I'm seeing OSD. It's definitely out of whack, but I'm seeing OSD. I'm seeing video. I'm seeing everything looking and working the way that it should. Look at that. That is just great. All the weight and pressure isn't on the actual ESC. The pressure will be on the zip tie. Now, it's nothing fancy. This is just a quick drone we slapped together. It's got a beautiful stack, beautiful camera, beautiful VTX. Can't go wrong with Crossfire. We've got a Lollipop V3. It's not going to get caught up in the props. I'm still going to do a quick fix on this antenna. And then I want to take this thing for a flight. And I want you guys to tell me what you think and if you like it. Alright, pilots, I am throwing this on the scale. 394. Alright, battery strap, Uma Grip, GoPro. Here we go. We're looking at 408. It's hard to see, but that's 408 grams. If we minus the 22 grams for this GoPro mount, that means that the apex is only 8 grams lighter. So for 8 grams, I'm getting a drone that's not going to break. I'm going to have to call that a win. Alright, pilots, I think that I've covered everything on this frame, including how to build it. We've also gone over the HobbyWing Stack, which was super fun. I really like that stack. I'm excited to feel how it's going to fly. I think the next thing to do is to go ahead and take this out to the sky and see how it does. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.